So, welcome you all. In previous lectures, we have discussed about the succession, plant succession, characters of the succession, then effect, different effect on the plant succession. Then last lecture we have discussed about the stages or processes of the succession. In that we have discussed about the different stages from notation, invasion, then establishment, competition, reaction, stabilization, and last one is the climax. So in the climax, that means the formations of the stable community. That are also this climax stage, which is differentiated into three stages. That is monoclimax, polyclimax, and climax pattern. So today we have discussed the next question. That is, give the types of plant succession. So the as first, there is the introductory part. The introductory part is same like the other questions. First of all, you have to write down about the succession, definition of succession, then characters of the succession. Then second one is the process of succession. In that you have to write about from notation to the climax development, move towards the types of the plant succession. So succession can be classified on the basis of nature of habitat in the following range. As you know, succession that means the start the development of the new community. So according to the habitat, the plant succession are different types. When sometimes the plant development that is start in the water condition. Sometimes the plant development process that will be start on the xeric condition. Sometimes the plant development conditions or the plant community that will develop from on the rocks. So the habitat that will be different. So according to the habitat, the plant succession are the different types. The first type plant succession is the primary succession. So primary succession that means the plant development that will be start or begins on the barren side, barren primary side, such as rocks, then cliffs, and sand dunes. So on that surface of the rocks, then some cliffy areas, sometimes on the sand, the plants, the community that will be grows on. So that the barren primary sites so on if the plants start their development on this barren land, barren primary land, then it is called as primary succession. So this primary barren sites which are devoured in any living matters, the pioneers or primary colonizers are the first plants to establish on such an unfavorable site. So on that barren land, the first community that will be developed. So that first community is also called as pioneer. So this pioneer community, they are primary colonizer. So first of all, they are single cell. They are living in a colony, and then they will be grow on such a unfavorable site. So this is the primary succession that will be developed the primary community. parent line, and they are in the form of colonies. Then, second type of the plant succession is the secondary succession. The secondary succession, that is succession proceeds on the site which have been once populated by an organism. I already told you, in primary succession, there is a pioneer community they will be developed, and this pioneering community that will be in colonies. So on such a site, the succession will be proceed out and the substrate is built up and reached with the nutrients. Then climax stage is reached in a short time. On such a site, a few stages are evolved. So if the primary community or primary pioneers colonies that will be developed on the rock. So ultimately, these rocks that will be break down and some soils will be formed. So on that soils, the these soils ultimately reach with the humus and some nutrient. So the second succession that will be start on such a sites. So in short time, these nutrient rich or nutritionally rich sites will be developed by these prime pioneer communities. So ultimately, on that, different few stages that will be evolved in the secondary succession. वहाँ पे जो भी पायनियर कॉलोनीज यदि रॉक पे या सैंड ड्यूज पे वहाँ पे फॉर्म होती है तो वो क्या करेंगे कुछ नाइट्रोजन फिक्स करेंगे वहाँ के जो न्यूट्रिएंट लेवल है न्यूट्रिएंट लेवल वहाँ पे इंक्रीज हो जाएगी ह्यूमस वहाँ पे फॉर्म होगा तो जनरली न्यूट्रिशनली रिच साइट हो गया और उसके ऊपर कुछ दो तीन और सम फ्यू स्टेजेस दैट विल बी developed. So this is the secondary succession. Then type is the autogenic succession. So autogenic succession, that means the sequential stages of succession are caused by the forces which are generated from within the system as a result of its reactions and moderations of its environment. So, as you know, the environmental condition is not always the same. This environment maybe sometimes the rainfall will be slow, sometimes the drought conditions will be more, sometimes nutrient deficiency will be made. So, due to this environmental factor, the growth stages or substantial stages that will be affected. So generally, due to these factors, modifications or some moderations that will be takes place in the plants, and they are if some plants they will be suitable or they will be fit, they only the survive. Otherwise, the other plant they will be dead and decayed. So here the autogenic succession due to the interactions or reactions between the environmental factors, some stages that should be affected, and only those organisms are survived which are built on their environment. That succession is known as the autogenic succession. Then, fourth type of the succession is the allogenic succession. So, allogenic succession, that means succession is said to be allogenic when the external physical forces such as volcanic eruption, floods, etc., causes or replace the existing community of the plants. So here again, it is some related to the autogenic succession. In allogenic, what's happened? So due to the external physical factors like the volcanoes, eruptions, sometimes floods, that will be disturbed or all the flora of that area. So due to this external factor, the new community that will be developed on the same site. So here, due to the external physical factor, the flora of that area that will be disturbed and new community will be developed on the same site. So this is known as the allogenic succession. Then the fifth type of the succession is the autotrophic succession. Autotrophic, that means uh, it is related to the plants, like the green plants here dominant from pioneer to the climax stage of the succession. It initiates in inorganic environment with the continuous energy flow. So there is a progressive augmentations of organic matter supported by the flow of energy. So as you know, in the different trophic levels, the here in mostly the autotrophic organisms like green plants, they are the dominant in the succession, or they are dominant from pioneer to the climate stage development. That means from initial formation of the initial community, the formation of the stable community, the plants will be, or green plants that will be dominant. So ultimately, the with this pioneer to climate stage, the inorganic, due to some in that the energy flow that will be also goes from pioneer to the climate development. So ultimately, due to the green plants, here the organic matters that should be supported is all system in that area, the organic system or organic matters that should be reached one, and due to this the flow of energy that will also from pioneer to the climax stage really goes on. So here in autotrophic succession, there is the green plant that will be dominant, and with this green plant, the energy flow that will be also transmitted from one trophic level to the another trophic level, that is from pioneer to the climax community. Then next one is the heterotrophic succession. Hetero, that means the different trophic levels. So the succession begins on site rich in organic matter with dominant heterotrophs such as bacteria, fungi, etc. And the energy content that will be declined with the succession. Here it is exactly opposite to the autotrophic succession. Heterotrophic, that means the different organisms that are involved in the succession process, like the bacteria and some fungi. So these bacteria and fungi, as you know, they are generally grows on the organic matters. They will be gain the energy from that organic matter, and they will be so here they can gain the energy from organic matter. So there is the decline the energy from one level, that is from organic level to the fungi. Then in that stage, heterotrophic succession, the organic matter that will be dominant here. So on that organic matter, the bacteria and fungi are grown up, and the energy that will be declined. So here these are the types of the plant succession. First one is the primary succession, then secondary succession, autogenic succession and allogenic succession, and autotrophic succession and heterotrophic succession. So according to the habitat, the succession is differentiated. Then the next one, that is the sear. In that sears, there is the entire gradient of the plant community from pioneer stage to the climax stage. It is called as sears. So, those organisms which are those stages of processes which are involved in the formation of the pioneer community to the climax community comes under the spheres. So here succession is classified into two principal kinds on the basis of moisture relation. So here In last, we have discussed that is related on the habitat, the succession will be differentiated. Here, according to the moisture content, this succession that will be differentiated. So here, these are two types, hydrosphere and xerosphere. So hydrosphere, which is also called as the hydride type, in that there is the process of succession that will be start in a habitat with sub-optimum supply of the water. For example, ponds, lakes, or marshes. So here the succession that will be start in the water level. So here in water, the development of the community that will be start. So water that in the form of ponds, then different lakes or some marshy places, these hydrosphere or hydrate succession that will be started. Then halosphere, it is halosphere that means the saline water. So in halosphere, the succession of the plant that will be start in the saline water. So saline soil as well as saline water. So in sea or the some muddy places around this sea, these halospheres that should be started out. Then in the zero sphere that means in the xeric condition. So the succession of the plant that will be start on the xeric or dry habitat where the water supply that will be some optimum. Then the water of that in that area that will be very optimum. So on that dry habitat, the plant succession that will be start. So again in the zero sphere that will be differentiated into two types. First one is the Samospheres. So samospheres that is plant community that will be developed on the sand. The only from the sand, the pioneer community that will be start out. So this type is called as samospheres. Then lithospheres, litho that means rocks. So here in lithospheres, the pioneer community that will be developed on the rocks. So, in the sense, this type of sphere is called as lithosphere. So, according to the moisture level, the plant succession that have differentiated into two types, that is hydrosphere and xerosphere. Again, the hydrosphere it is differentiated into two. That is first one, the succession that will start in the fresh water or that in, for example, ponds, water and marshy areas. And in halospheres, the plant succession that will be start on the saline water. Same sense in the zero sphere, that means in the dry habitat, plant successions will be started. So the again the zero sphere is differentiated into two types: samospheres and lithospheres. Samo that means the uh, lab or initial community that develop on the sand, and in the lithospheres that means the plant community that develop on the rock surfaces. So I hope all of you are got this point, types of the plant succession. All of you are understand this point, plant succession or the types of the plant succession. Next time we have discussed one by one point, that is an example of the hydrosphere as well as the example of the geosphere, and on that how the development of the how the plant succession will be takes place from the barren land, that is from nutation to the planets, development of the planets community. All of you are got this point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now I stop the sharing.